David and Ron, I love you guys. I made some choices, and you guys don't know anything about this, but I'm going to be gone for a while. Sorry. Maybe dead shortly. So I just want to let you know that I love you guys both, and I wish it hadn't gone this way.
Welcome back, Warriors. It's me, Linda B. Thank you all so much for joining me here today. I want to just give you guys an update on what has happened with the Minnesota Democratic Party lawmakers, one of which, Melissa Hortman, and her husband were shot and unalived early Saturday morning. And another Minnesota Democrat lawmaker was shot, him and his wife, but they are currently in the hospital expected to survive. But I wanted to give you guys a little bit of a recap in case you are not familiar with the story. Don't know how you can't be familiar because it's literally all over the place. I'll give you a little backstory, but before I do, don't forget to smash the like button, comment, share, subscribe to my channel, hit all notifications so you never miss a video. And I kindly ask that you stick around to the very end. I've got his roommate, the shooter's roommate, the alleged shooter's roommate, him speaking out, and information about the alleged shooter's wife. Okay, so we got the roommate speaking out and the alleged shooter's wife being questioned. So stick around to the end. But you all know about Vance Boelter. Vance Luther Boelter. Okay, 57 years old. So here is a tip line for information that if you know of anything, they have a $50,000 reward. The number is 877-996-6222. And there's an email address. He is a 57-year-old male, 6'1", 220 pounds, brown eyes. He appears to have brownish hair with a little salt in it, as they say, a little gray. But here is the suspect. Vance Luther Boelter. Okay, now I just want to remind everyone that this man was appointed by the former governor of Minnesota in 2016 and appointed in 2019 by the current governor, Tim Walz. And I'm talking about the governor of Minnesota, who was Kamala Harris's VP running mate in this last election. Okay, he was appointed by him. And he was appointed by him, let me just read this, to serve on one of his state boards. He was appointed by the governor, Tim Walz, to serve on one of his state boards. Okay, and a lot of information is flying out there. They're trying to blame it on the Republicans. Trump, of course, they blame the weather on President Trump. Whatever they can find, they're going to try and blame it on him. But the fact of the matter is that what happened prior to this was one of the lawmakers, who was unfortunately unalived, Melissa Hortman. She voted against her party. She voted with the Republicans to take away health care from illegal aliens. And I want you to hear her, and please bear with me. This is just in case those of you who have not been following it, and then I'm going to follow it up with information of the suspected shooter's roommate and wife. So take a look.
I know that people will be hurt by that vote, and we worked very hard to try to get a budget deal that wouldn't include that provision.
DFL Speaker Emerita Melissa Hortman emotional following the House's adjournment from a special session Monday. Hortman was the lone DFL lawmaker to cast a vote to cut Minnesota Care access for undocumented immigrants. It's a move she made with a heavy heart.
I did what leaders do. I stepped up and I got the job done for the people of Minnesota.
The bill was deeply unpopular with members of the DFL caucus. Members have repeatedly expressed frustration that the bill was part of a compromise, one that would ensure the necessary GOP votes to pass the rest of the state budget.
We are tremendously disappointed and gut-wrenched at this decision, at this compromise that compromises our communities that are most vulnerable.
Hortman knows she let down her own caucus members with the vote.
They're right to be mad at me. I think some of them are pretty angry. I think that their job was to make folks who voted for that bill feel like crap, and I think that they succeeded.
Over in the Senate, a similar situation unfolded. Senate Majority Leader Erin Murphy forced to vote for a bill she too disagreed with to uphold the integrity of their compromise.
This one hurt. This one is a wound because of its reason. My colleagues across the aisle set this as their number one priority.
Asked whether the move would drive a wedge between her and the rest of her caucus, her DFL colleague, Senator John Marty, quickly stepped to her defense.
As a member of the caucus, yes, sir, she clearly was fighting against it every step of the way. In negotiations, if we wanted a budget, we had to agree to that. She agreed to put up one vote for us because of that.
Reporting in St. Paul, I'm Quinn Gorham.
You see that she was the lone member that voted against her own caucus, and she said they have a right to be mad at her. I just want to give you guys a little context there. And now to the information regarding his roommate. And I don't understand why a married man would have a roommate, but an information on his wife as well. Now you're going to want to stick around to hear all of this. So let's watch.
David and Ron, I love you guys. I made some choices and you guys don't know anything about this, but I'm going to be gone for a while. Sorry. Maybe dead shortly. So I just want to let you know I love you guys both. And I wish it hadn't gone this way. I don't want to say anything more and implicate you in any way because you guys don't know anything about this. But I love you guys and I'm sorry for all the trouble this has caused.
Who was the other recipient?
Ron Ramsey. It's another friend. He doesn't live in the state.
Got it.
Yeah, he was going to move up here.
So you two were his two best friends?
Yeah.
Is there a photo of your phone screen left here?
Yeah, I just don't want Jenny seeing it splashed on the...
Yeah, I mean, we wouldn't run it big, but I mean, just
yeah, it's all right. I read it, that's...
Okay, that's
more
fine.
than
No,
I
totally
would-
fine.
What time was
Okay,
that?
totally okay.
What time was that text?
I think it was 6:17.
A.m.
Yeah.
today.
Yeah.
Sorry, I just got over here. What did the text say?
Good, you missed it. I can't read it again. It takes too much out of me. But, yeah, I mean, yeah. Well, you understand the text. He was a loving, caring guy. You know, loved his family, loved his friends, and loved God. And I don't know why he did what he did. It's just, it's not Vance. No one will believe this. No one that grew up. He had lots of friends. Trust me. I wish I could have been there.
So several things stood out to me. That was the suspect, Vance Luther Boelter's roommate, and he was reading a text. Supposedly he was reading a text, because I'm just going to tell you, I don't believe that man as far as I could lift him and throw him. And you see the size that he is. I don't trust, he would not let the reporter see a screenshot. Also, he would not repeat what it said. That is just very damning, in my personal opinion. That was a fake cry. I don't trust it. It's my opinion. That's what I'm saying. That's his roommate, the alleged shooter's roommate. And this man looks like he works for pizza, Papa John's Pizza. And in the text that I don't believe was a text anyway, he said he received it at 6:17 a.m., which would have put it, 3 hours after or so after the incidents took place. He made sure that he said, you guys had nothing to do with this. That just sounds like he tried to make sure they don't get in trouble, or that man tried to make sure that they didn't get in trouble. Because when people make it too much of a point to say statements like that, now this is just my opinion, that they really probably got something to do with it, just an opinion, not saying it's the truth. That I'm just saying they go through too much trouble to make sure they say, you guys had nothing to do with it. You had nothing to do with it. That's interesting. Yeah, and he would not let them see a screenshot and would not repeat it. Oh, it just takes too much out of me. Oh, yeah, you already missed it. Now that was his roommate, okay? And I got some information about the shooter's wife.
Reporter Tom Hauser, and Tom has new information from multiple law enforcement sources about Boelter's wife being detained today, Tom.
Yeah, I've been working the phones for several hours, as you know, trying to track this down while we were all covering the manhunt here in the Twin Cities this morning. Sources tonight tell me the case was also taking a turn about 90 minutes to the north near Onamia in Mille Lacs County. Multiple law enforcement sources with direct knowledge of what happened tell 5 Eyewitness News there was a traffic stop at a convenience store near Onamia. Between 10 and 11 a.m. this morning, law enforcement made a traffic stop involving a vehicle carrying several relatives of Vance Boelter, including his wife. We have talked to an eyewitness who says about a dozen law enforcement squads converged on the vehicle and remained on the scene for 2 to 3 hours. We are also told by several of our sources the vehicle contained a weapon, ammunition, cash, and passports. Now, to our knowledge, no one in that group has been arrested, just detained for questioning. It's also unclear why they were stopped, whether they were being tracked, or if it was a random traffic stop. I am told briefings about this incident are ongoing yet tonight, and we will continue to track more developments. And again, sources say Vance Boelter's wife is among those detained for questioning. And I did have one source very late in the evening, just before the newscast, say that she was being tracked. So this was not a random traffic stop. They had an idea of where she was, and they were able to track her down. Again, we're still gathering more details, and we'll have much more coming up tomorrow.
Tom Hauser reporting.
And nobody knows where he is tonight?
No, he is still at large.
Okay.
Okay, so you heard that he is still at large. That was his wife being detained for questioning. And there were other people in the vehicle. And you heard there was cash, passport, ammo. This is looking, they tracked her. This was not random. And that was Vance Boelter's wife. Okay. And again, Vance is the alleged shooter in these Minnesota lawmakers, again, that lone woman who made that vote. And when you heard her speak, it was very emotional for her. It's like she knew something could be happening. I mean, she was so pained about it. And she was talking about how mad they were at her. I'm just saying, it's very convenient that she voted the way she did. They were angry. And then shortly after that, she's no longer here. I'm just saying you guys can take it the way you want to take it. And then that roommate not wanting to, and I'm sorry, that roommate is not credible. He did not want to show the screenshot so they could take a screenshot. They just want to take a little picture. Didn't want to do that. Did not want to reread it because they will be able to tell that he's not reading the same, because when you're lying, you got to remember your lie. It's just my opinion that he just wasn't credible to me, because why didn't he show that information? So I'm going to be following this for you all. I thank you guys for watching. Now, please don't forget to smash the like button, comment, share, subscribe to my channel, select all notifications so that you never miss a video. You all be blessed. Love God, your families, these United States of America, and march on, warriors.